What's up, YouTube? We are 3 days, 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 40 seconds away from Path of Exile 3.3 Incursion League getting dropped. And today we've got a bunch of new stuff that's been announced. Bex has just been dropping all sorts of announcements over the last couple of hours. So we're going to take a look first at the Power Siphon gem. So here are the details on the reworked Power Siphon gem. It's still an attack projectile, and this example here is its max level at 20, pre-corruption, obviously. And with its max quality, it gives you increased critical strike chance per power charge, and now it deals 150% of base damage, which also scales, and then it fires 7 additional projectiles. This is by far the biggest change, and the biggest thing to be excited about in this change is just the number of projectiles that are going to get attached now to Power Siphon. There's a bunch of people in the Reddit thread that are now commenting about the viability of Power Siphon as a wanding ability to level with, both for AoE as well as potentially for single target. It's got Culling Strike on it, it's got increased damage on it, and it now gives you 20% chance to gain a power charge when projectile hits a rare or unique enemy. And it gives you 10% to critical strike multiplier per power charge. So right here, the very top comment by Chrisman, oh boy, here I go wandering again. And down later on in the thread, we have confirmation from Bex right here that it scales the projectiles, and the number of projectiles scale themselves at the same rate as Frostblades. So just like Frostblades got an initial hit and then it's going to scale and go into additional projectiles, Power Siphon is now going to have additional projectiles scale with the level of the gem. The second gem that we got to see today is from ZiggyD's video, which I will link. And it is the Lightning Spire Trap, which Lightning Spire Trap, the way how it's going to work is when you cast it, it's similar to the other trap that got announced, which is the Spire Trap, where it does physical damage in kind of a triangle area around the initial placement of the trap. The same thing's going to work here for the Lightning Spire Trap, where depending on the size and the increase of the AoE that is applied to the gem itself, the damage area is going to increase in the size of the cast. So in other words, the range here, if you look at the circle on the left, the range is always going to be the same, even if you apply increased area of effect. The range of where it is that the hits are going to take place in relation to the initial placement of the trap. However, each of those bubbles can get larger and larger as you increase the AoE, which means that they can potentially overlap. So you see here on the left how each of the damaging circles doesn't necessarily hit the same target, whereas as you increase the area of effect, it doesn't actually increase the range of the ability, but it increases its potential chance to overlap, which would be doing damage over top of the same enemies over and over and over again. Here's how the Lightning Spire Trap actually reads. It is still a trap spell, duration AoE lightning, and what it does is it gives you the ability to throw a trap which, once triggered, will repeatedly strike multiple areas around it for a duration, dealing lightning damage. Modifiers to cast speed will affect how frequently it strikes, and it has a higher chance to critically strike shocked enemies. So remember how you can shock enemies more consistently now with several different mechanisms that we're getting, including elemental hit, including even Vol lightning strike, or Vol lightning trap. There's lots of different ways that we've got to permanently shock enemies. And so now with Lightning Spire Trap, we've got 20% chance to shock enemies, but then we've also got increased critical strike chance against shocked enemies. It strikes 3 different areas, and its base duration is 3.5 seconds. Traps last for 4, so that discrepancy there is probably that cast time and the animation time for the trap to actually activate. But it's great. I'm going to link the ZiggyD video down below. It's great. It's a 4-minute video. I highly recommend that you go and you check it out. It's, of course, on the Path of Exile subreddit if you haven't already seen it. I'm going to link it down below. Leave us a comment. Are you excited about this? Are you playing a trapper in Incursion League? Is that something that you're going to do? I think I am going to do a trapper. I've never done a trapper before. I did like one level 10 guy because I found in hardcore some trapper uniques way back in the day, and so other than that, I've never done a trapper, so I think I'm definitely going to do a trapper this league. Just the number of buffs and changes. Also included in ZiggyD's video is going to be the new trap support gem, so definitely give it a click, give it a watch. Ziggy does great work and always keeps the community up to date with everything, so give it a watch. It's down below. Leave us a comment. Are you going to be playing a trapper build? We're only 3 days away. Get hyped from PoE Incursion dropping.